Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. We're James on the Games. Alright, starting early today. It's Father's Day, so I got a family dinner to go to. So getting this out of the way earlier in the day. We're diving into episode 20, the big 2-0, of our Ultima 6, the False Prophet Let's Play. So with a minimum of further ado, just adjusting my volume a little bit. Hail, waffle syrup! Glad you're here for what I would like to believe will be the big moment where we finally speak to the Gargoyles. But I've said that before, so we'll see. Okay. The ritual frigging with the volume. Alright. My computer has once again changed its mind about what the numbers mean. This is a pretty good volume for me. How's that for the folks at home? Let me know. Okay. And now, with no further ado, oops, there we go. Let's get going. Let's journey onward. We are in Dungeon Hythloth, the passageway between Gargoyle Land and Britannia. Good for you? Alright, excellent. Excellent. I believe we're on the 4th level. I don't think a dungeon has had more than 4 levels so far, so I'm optimistic that we're getting close to the end. Looks like everyone's in pretty good condition. Shimino hears something to the northwest. Good ears, buddy. Let's take a look at everyone's progression here. Oh, the Avatar, level 7. What a mighty hero. Dupre, awfully close to level 7. Shimino, lagging a bit behind. John is closing on level 6. Which, again, like, I really want there to be a gargoyle we can recruit. And if there is, it's bye-bye Jana. But good for her. Continuing to improve herself anyway. Gweno's ready. So let's warp out of the dungeon. No. We'll save the level up for a later date. Okay. So I know I was traveling north. And my instinct here is to go north and west and just see what I can find in this dungeon. Mainly just looking for a way out, but who knows? There could be something here worth finding. Okay. If we can help it, we're not walking in any lava. A drake. Actually, forget that. Dupre is so close to leveling up, he's gonna heroically... No, he should not be doing this. The Avatar's taking too many hits. Let's go into combat mode. Oh, and there's more drakes coming. Oof. Avatar takes a... by no means the first boomerang to the back of the head. Along this journey, that's I mean, it's an inevitable outcome of the Gargoyle/Britannian cross-pollination. I suspect in the late 80s, when the Crocodile Dundee movies blew up in North America. My gut tells me that this was a similar problem related to cross-cultural pollination. Probably a lot of American fathers catching boomerangs to the back of the head from their idiot children. No, I was not a kid at that time. I mean, I was, but my real childhood was in the 90s. But we still thought boomerangs were cool. And I think a thing that came up a lot was, you know, you get your parents to buy you some cool boomerang toy. My goodness, team. We're saving the critically wounded one who cannot get away for Dupre. There we go. It actually takes a lot of skill to throw a boomerang and have it return to you. It is not simply a matter like in The Legend of Zelda, say that you just throw the boomerang and it's going to come back. In fact, it will follow you as you move and will always return to you. That is just not that's not how it goes. Very disappointing as a child. You don't want to have to do well at something to achieve the cool boomerang effect. Okay, so turns out to the north, it doesn't look like there was anything. Perhaps we go further north, walking through lava. Like I just said we wanted to avoid doing, but perhaps we have to. I wonder if we went back south. Was there another route we could have taken to the south? I know we came in at the south. Another walking through lava. Is this going to go anywhere? Let's throw in a save. Send the avatar bravely forth. We can cross this lava. Come on, team. Yeah, they're not coming. They're not coming unless I walk all the way back to them. So we'll just have to bring them across one by one. Ouch. Ouch. The Avatar and his companions have not mastered the art of fire walking. Do it really quickly. Don't put, distribute the weight. Step briefly. Don't stand for long. All those kinds of things. They just dive right in. Lava up to the ankles. Damn the pain. Which I suppose is courageous, but also just rough for the maintenance of hit points. How's ELO doing? Okay. So the only ones who aren't in the triple digits are close to the triple digits. We're on the other side of lava, and it looked like we had no choice. We either had to take the north lava or the south lava. So we've taken this one. Okay. Well, nothing to do now but explore the branches. Oh, okay. Okay. Here's a fellow just hanging out at the bottom of Dungeon Hythloth. Is he fleeing from me? No, he's just doing arbitrary NPC movements. Okay. One more here. Alright. Well, let's see what he has to say. Whoa. This man definitely remembered to bring his grooming tools with him when he went to build his house in the bottom of a dungeon. Or alternately, perhaps he's already... perhaps he's actually an emigrant from Britannia, and he came into Hythloth coming back from the Gargoyle land. Which, if we're on the bottom floor of the dungeon, is the easiest and quickest way to acquire clippers, assuming that you can also get, facial hair trimming stuff in the Gargoyle world. Which, considering that they're all completely bald as far as I'm aware, maybe you can't. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Alright. He's a long-haired gentleman, scholarly-looking demeanor. That is not how I would describe his demeanor. He looks to me like a rakish adventurer. Praise the virtues! Humans have arrived here at last. But what's this? Not just any humans, the Avatar! So either this guy knows me, or he recognizes my Ankh. Oh, he knows my name, even. It's most fortuitous that thou hast returned, noble James. It is. It's true. Many cataclysms have occurred since thou last visited Britannia. So obviously we're going to ask him about these cataclysms. Although, we've been here for a while, dude. We know about a number of the cataclysms. But before we do that, let's find out who he is. It's Captain John! Alright, so I didn't actually meet this NPC in my playthrough of Ultima V, but I was told about him in the end. He was part of the expedition to... when Lord British was like, even though I'm the king, I'm going to lead an expedition into the vast underworld. What could go wrong? And he was one of the sole survivors, and had I met him, he would have told me the story of how the Shadow Lords came to be. So this guy spends a lot of his time underground waiting to catch the Avatar up on recent cataclysms. What do you do these days Alright. He's just spent years here in the Cataclysm studying the Catacombs studying the Gargoyles. We have 3 keywords now. Tell me about the Cataclysms first. What has happened? The Gargoyle world, once as large as Britannia itself, is slowly being destroyed. Perhaps one of the core issues there is that there's not enough memory to store 2 world maps as large as the overworld map of Britannia. The forces thou have set in motion caused great sections of their land to fall off into the void. Ooh! Jeez. That's not great. Only a single gargoyle city remains. Okay. Jeez, we got a lot of words. Okay, so you study the gargoyles? And he's learned much about them. I've also... You got a silver tablet. Does it look like this? You gave it to some travelers. Yeah, he's been underground for years. He's not up to date on the preferred nomenclature. Took it to Mariah at the Lyceum. It's interesting because when I missed Captain John in Ultima V, he's in the underworld, but he's just outside the entrance to Dungeon Despise, which is right there next to Britannia, and it's the easiest dungeon too. And he's pretty close to the entrance, although I didn't explore it all. I didn't find him. So he's just right there. Not that hard to find, fairly early in the game. So when he's giving you all this, here's how this all came to pass information, it seems more urgent than... I can't imagine anyone being like early in the game and just being like, I want to go to the bottom of Dungeon Hythloth for some reason. But okay. Did it arrive safely? No. It's not their fault. It was a piracy issue. I am here, and I have the tablet. Yep. I can do that too. Okay, yeah. So tell me about the gargoyles. Ah, we suspected, but thank you for confirming, Captain John. He spent much time talking to them, and he's found them to be almost human. We'll chalk that one up just to a limitation of language. I think what he's trying to say is that they're like us. You know, they're you know, he's trying to describe their minds in some way. Not saying, you know, if you just tore their wings off, they'd just be humans. He's learning about their society, their beliefs, and their language. Well, geez. I mean, I know some of this stuff, but tell me. Winged and wingless? Yep. At first, it seemed as if the wingless ones were slaves. Ooh. But now he knows that they're beloved and valued family members. Oh no. Has Captain John fallen for pro-slavery propaganda? Because I'm very certain that in the American South during the era of slavery, they would have told you that. They'd be like, no, we think of them as family. They have to do it. Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, I think this is true, which makes it different from slavery propaganda in that sense, but oof. They live honorably by their own set of beliefs. Yeah, what do they believe? Their beliefs are much like our own in the sense that they like virtues, or principles. But we have truth, love, and courage, and they have control, passion, and diligence. Fair enough. Ooh, which lead to virtues. Okay, hold on. I'm not sure this is ever going to be important, but I want to record it for the record. They lead to the virtues of direction, feeling, and persistence. So they have 3 principles from which they derive 3 virtues. Seems like there's redundancy in the structure here. Oh, okay, never mind. Like how truth leads to on. So direction, feeling, persistence are the one-to-ones. Control leads to direction. Diligence is feeling. Passion and persistence. But then, when you mix them, you can have balance, achievement, and precision. Okay. What more? What else? Taken all together, they point to order. And then do they also have... Do they have a humility equivalent, or do they just have the 7 virtues? And the sum of all principles is singularity. As opposed to infinity. Interesting. They stress unity and singularity in all things, which is why they all look exactly the same, I assume. And they have to. The world has always been harsh, even before the cataclysms. Yes, the cataclysms sound awful, though. What of their language? Can you teach the entire language to me right now? In case this tablet doesn't do the job? With the help of a gargoyle child, Beh Lem, he has learned how to speak their language. Okay. You know what? I ought to go ahead and create my Gargoyle Land spreadsheet. And we'll put Captain John on it. Captain John. And I'm not going to write down everything he said because I put some in my other sheet. But I will say that Beh Lem taught me the language. Okay. So, that is our first goal probably when we emerge from Hythloth in the land of the Gargoyles. Cool. Oh, or I just say yes right now and just get it. Here, he gives me a scroll. Oh, great. It's going to be the ultimate, frustrating tourist experience for the Gargoyles. We come up to them and we're like, unfurl the scroll. Go looking for the hello. Could you repeat that again and again and again as I look up each word you say? All right. Thank you. Thank you for the scroll. So what's Beh Lem like? Meet every day at noon where Hythloth emerges in the Gargoyle lands. Okay. So if we want to meet Beh Lem, if it turns out that going farther in creates problems, we can just sleep and catch him the next day at noon. Go and speak with him, learn about the Gargoyles. Then you must save them. And I will. Because I'm the Avatar. It's my job to save the day. And then go home to my mediocre apartment. Watch trashy television shows. Alright, take care, Captain John. Wait! Oh! Oh, okay. So perhaps Beh Lem is going to be the recruitable one. Hail, Stimpinski! We're so close to the Gargoyles. This is Captain John, the NPC who I missed in Ultima V. He's still living underground and giving you important backstory information about the current situation. He's giving me a scroll with the Gargoyle language, so that's helpful. It was definitely not the move to go warping directly into Gargoyle Land. No. Let's not think about Captain Jack right now. Yeah, and he, yeah, okay. That is the only way you can save them, and save them you must. Yeah, of course. Without Beh Lem with you, the Gargoyles will attack. So we do need to free up space in the team. Sorry, Johnny, you were so close to level 6. Alright. Farewell again, noble Avatar. So the Gargoyles say, may thy precision and persistence and precision lead to success. Upon you rests the future of an entire race. Species, Captain John, come on. Okay, we don't want to rob Captain John, so we'll leave these boxes alone. There's how he's surviving. I want to believe the exit to the Gargoyle Land is close to Captain John, but who knows? Let's look around. Oh, may well be that path off to the west. Okay, here we go. I think it's going to be to the west. Well, north first. Yeah, the northern leading path that was discovered. Aha, here we go. Throwing out a save. We're in the Gargoyle land. I really like the Gargoyle song, and there's Beh Lem. Alright, Jana. Awkward time to do it, since we just took you to another dimension. And the entrance to it was at the bottom of a dungeon. That's true, Jana, which is why I'm going to ask you to leave. Well, hold on. It sounds like Beh Lem, at least, is not going to think of us as a false prophet. All the rest of them think we are, but all we got to do is be like, hey, look at our buddy. Hopefully. Alright, so Jana doesn't make us feel bad like our traveler friend did by immediately accusing us of racism. But she makes us feel bad by just being, like, so meek and self-effacing. Oh, yeah, okay. Boom. Problem solved. She dumped all her stuff on the ground there. I guess we'll take it. Well, I might as well have... Okay. Let's talk to Beh Lem. Whoa! Hey, buddy. He's recruitable, we can tell. So we can see his gear. He's horrifying looking. But we're not going to judge. He's got a cute little pet. I'm sure he's a great guy. The Gargoyle greets you enthusiastically, but you can't understand him. Seeing your confusion, he switches to human language. It's obviously a strain for him. Hello. I little human speak. Do you know the word name? Anyone in this universe who can speak the human language must recognize the words name and job. That's how every conversation begins. No name. I Beh Lem. So that's your name. What do you do, son? You wait here, Captain John comes. Okay, hold on a second. Confused Gargoyle waves goodbye. There. I studied the scroll. Perhaps now I can just talk to him. To greet you, human. To recognize you as the false prophet. No. 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 Yeah. He seems cool so far. Like, even he recognizes me as the false prophet, but he's not trying to kill me yet. I like him. Okay, so what's your name? To be called Beh Lem, which means just one. To have not yet received a true name. So, here's the thing. Neither Captain John nor Sinvral have told me about Gargoyle culture. You have to prove yourself worthy to get a name. And what would you have to do there? Would you have to help the Avatar save your world? Doesn't deserve a name yet. But gets one someday like his father, Valkadesh. Oh yeah. What is your father like? Tell me about him. He's very much respected. Huh. He's a respected scholar. Yes. He joins my group. Didn't even have to say the word join. So you're going to guide me there? We made it, British. I had to start early today because it's Father's Day. I got to go to my family at supper time here, around 5 p.m. Atlantic. So, yeah, turned out I was, in fact, once again on the very bottom floor of the dungeon. And I met Captain John, so I didn't miss that NPC this time. So I'm really glad you filled me in on what he would have told me in Ultima V, so that I could contextualize his presence. He gave me the scroll that taught me the Gargoyle language, so it was not the tablet that was going to get that job done. And boom, here we are. We've met Beh Lem. There's Jana. You can see she's dumped all her stuff on the ground. We had to say goodbye to Jana. Hopefully she... I mean, you know, she doesn't seem like a judgmental person. Maybe she'll just hang out with Captain John. Okay. Go west following the mountains, and then turn north at the Hall of Knowledge. Okay. Let's, I'm going to note that. To meet my father, head west from Hythloth, then north at Hall of Knowledge. Okay. Tell me more, young man. Then east along the mountains. Until you come to a narrow pass. And then what? Oh, that's pretty much it. We'll go through the pass, we'll meet his father. Great. Things are heating up in the Ultima VI saga. Oh, might as well note the coordinates. 40 south, 65 east. Great stuff. Take care. Avoid the lava pits and the Hall of Knowledge. To understand these directions? Yes. Good. So what's so bad about this Hall of Knowledge? Talk to his father first. Okay. Anything to say about the mountains? Yep. That's west and then north and then east. That's clockwise. Okay. What does this house look like? Yeah. Alright. Thanks, buddy. Let's get going. Yes. Yes, Beh Lem. That's what we all hope. So check it out. We have a real multicultural party going now. What's Beh Lem's story? Well, okay. He's a low-level character. That makes sense. He's a child. And he's only level 2. He cannot cast magic. What are his stats like? Not bad. He's like pretty good in all stats. So that's good. Great. Awesome. So step 1 is that Beh Lem is now the inheritor of Janna's stuff. We'll hook him up. We'll make sure we put him on control. Certainly not front. Alright, put some armor on, young man. What are the... Alright, sorry. Keep hitting V for view, when I mean L for look. A gargoyle helm, alright, absorbs 3, versus this, which absorbs 2. Alright, we'll keep the good one on. Might as well equip a shield. And if need be, we can even whip out that fire wand. That's probably one of those things that I'll just never use. Because I don't want to expend its charges. Oh, Beh Lem, I'm sorry. What a terrible introduction to the team. Alright. Avatar. Fix this mess. And then give him Janna's boots. And he doesn't need Janna's boomerang. Oh, put my ash supply, freshly picked up off the ground in Dungeon Hythloth. Best price you can get on ash. And then make sure that Beh Lem puts his boots on. Oh, party mode. Put those swamp boots on, buddy. Alright. We're set. Throw down a save. Party mode. Let's go. So we want to go west. Ah! Sorry, buddy. Does he have some kind of fire resistance? No! He's been brutalized already. Oof. Okay. Not much to be done there, though. Follow the mountains west until the Hall of Knowledge. Get past. Oh. Okay, yes. We got past without burning our young friend again. Which is great. And keep tracing the mountains as I follow them west. David! Hail! I have made it to the Gargoyle land the proper way. I have Beh Lem on my team. I speak their language now. I am trying to find his dad's house. Alright, so this is going to be the Hall of Knowledge. Let's avoid it. Beh Lem was very clear on that point. Right. Let me review his directions so that I have them precise. Yeah, I beat Elden Ring recently on the note of not wanting to expend charges of things. And so in Elden Ring, when you beat the demigod bosses, you get their great runes, and then you can equip those great runes. And the great runes give you extreme bonuses, like massive increase your hit point, stamina, and focus, or something like that. But just equipping them doesn't do anything. You need to use an item called a rune arc, and then they activate until you die. And I found like 35 rune arcs in the game, and I didn't use a single one until the final boss. Because I was just like, I'm gonna run out. Like, once you use them, it's like, I either have to have a great run, like, if I have a bad run, it's a waste. If I go in there at this boss and I just suck, I get killed, it was a waste of a rune arc. If I go in and have a terrific, like, I fight great and I beat the boss, what do I need the rune arc for? So I saved them for the final boss. Alright, hold on. Directions. West from Hythloth, north of the Hall of Knowledge, east along the mountains. So, still assuming this is the Hall of Knowledge? We just keep hitting places, though. No plot line revealed, unless knowing that there's a boss is a spoiler. Okay, the gargoyles don't attack us on sight anymore. Here's the mountains. Are these the mountains? I don't know. I'm actually inclined to say that they're not. I did a great job for the most part of avoiding Elden Ring spoilers myself. Here's what we're gonna do. I should just follow the mountains all together. So let me go back to where I was. All these cool... Well, I guess they're not cool. That must be where the... That's the voids that are opening up to swallow the Gargoyle land. This is hopeless now, isn't it? I'm lost. Just restore the game. Let's set out on this voyage a second time and just do better. Make sure that I did equip Beh Lem with his boots, his swamp boots, so he doesn't get poisoned. And here we go. Alright. West to the Hall of Knowledge, then we'll trace the mountains north instead of just going north when we see the Hall of Knowledge. And then go east as soon as the mountains that we're tracing will allow it. Yeah, so here's where I thought I found the Hall of Knowledge. Is it though? Yeah. Here, probably that's the Hall of Knowledge. So let's go east as soon as we can. So yeah, east along the mountains till you come to a narrow pass. So this part should be easy. Here's a narrow pass. South through this narrow pass leads nowhere. Okay. That's discouraging. We'll keep looking. Here's a narrow pass, but it doesn't go south. I don't know. To offer greetings, false prophet. To have waited long for you to... I think we found him. And hey, I wasn't sure this was going to happen. the gargoyles all have distinct portraits so far. I had a little concern that they were all just going to look like Sin Vral. I was going to say, like, this game is because of graphical limitations, but that would have really undermined the core message of how we're not, you know, they're not just a mindless horde of monsters. To believe that the Book of Prophecies is wrong. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried you were building up to saying to have waited long for you to come here so I can blast you with my swirling orbs of control and diligence. And passion. Oh, here's what he believes. It's not that he thinks the whole prophecy is wrong. He's just like, I think this false prophet, we could convince him not to murder us all. I was never looking to murder you all. But okay. To wish to address you honorably, to ask your name. My name is James, although some have referred to me as the avatar of all virtues. Noble James, to see that you are a being of honor and respect. You can tell that just by looking at me. Do not betray that honor. To return the codex. To save my people from the prophecy. Okay. Speaking of names, I just want to make sure. Yes. Alright. It's Beh Lem's father. Valkadesh, the scholar. Is Wislem a separate last name, or is Wislem just Gargoyle for scholar? It's a partial name. Okay. Jeez. The real gargoyles have like giant names, I guess. Greatly honored by even your partial name. Customary among you. Yeah. I like the really interesting they speak entirely in infinitives. Interesting way to write it out. Okay. Okay, yeah. Alright. We have a lot to talk about, but what do you do? You're a scholar, trying to... Yeah, prophecy. Alright, let's talk about the prophecy for a minute. Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard that too. But I've also heard that... Hold on. You folks have different meanings of the word sacrifice? Why not lead with the much less bad sounding alternative? Okay. This does not sound like a nuanced version of sacrifice, though. Okay. So you have no choice? Okay. In the sense that you can sacrifice different things. Not in the sense that, like, gargoyles have some weird notion of sacrifice that means something unrelated to what we would think. Okay. And I would love that, personally. I'm in favor of finding a better answer than me getting killed. What do you think it might be? You can't help more. Seek out Naxatilor himself. Okay. So hold on. Oh, goodness. I've already... Va. I'm just going to write Va for now. Get his whole name down in a moment. Okay, what are some important things here? Yeah, if this was like, can we do this like Ultima 4? I'll just keep talking to you when I have full health, and then you say, hey, can I have 10 of your hit points? And I say, yeah. Should I do that enough times, and now I'm the master of sacrifice and have saved the world yet again? Okay. So, sacrifice can have 3 meanings. Let's get that part. Self, others, possessions. Return the codex. Returning the codex is the only alternative to sacrificing your life. I certainly don't want to do that. And then, seek Naxatilor himself. further enlightenment. Naxatilor himself? No, I'm jesting with you by acting shocked. The name means nothing to me. Why would you think it would? Okay, tell me about him. Naxatilor himself. The wisest gargoyle. And he lives just northeast of the Hall of Knowledge. Alright. Good to know. So while this game is far removed from Ultima 4's like obsessive tracking with the virtues and like enforcing your good behavior to a great deal, it does occur to me, especially with the Orb of the Moons, there's real potential. Probably a lot of players soft lock themselves in this game by warping to the gargoyle world really early in the story and just killing all the gargoyles. And then only much later, you finally put the tablet together and it's like, oh. You meet Captain John for the first time and he's like, they're not evil. They're just like you and me. And you're like, are you sure? Could they be evil? Can you not tell anybody that they're okay? So that would punish you very much for not being virtuous. Northeast of the Hall of Knowledge. Go there and ask him of sacrifice. I shall. And what of the codex? Is it the same codex that we like where I'm from? That's what I hope to do. Especially mine. But also yours. So you turn to leave. Oh, no. David, that's tragic. At least, though, well, I don't know how long it took you to get to Jalome and find out you couldn't get that rune. But that's a little earlier in the natural progression than getting to the Gargoyle land. And Beh Lem's like, let's go talk to my dad. And you come and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I killed that guy. I thought he'd have extra powerful magic because of his swirling orbs. He stops me. Wait. To be feared and hated by all gargoyles. To be unsafe for you right now, false prophet. To surrender is only answer. To surrender to the Inquisitor. Then to be no longer a threat. And then not to be feared by my people. To surrender to the Inquisitor. And then to be free to look for the solution. Alright. You see, okay. Right, I should be writing down these names. Naxatilor, I mean, I already written that down. His job is being the wisest. And then we have Draxanusom. Now I got to assume that Naxatilor being the wisest and Draxanusom being the leader have their full names. But they don't seem to be that much longer, or any longer, than the partial name of Valka, whatever, that I'm speaking to right now. Okay. Okay. Inquisitor/leader. Alright. Find his chambers just northwest of the Hall of Knowledge. Okay. Surrender to the Inquisitor. Just northwest of the Hall of Knowledge. Seems dicey. Just generally, you know, when you find out someone's job description is Inquisitor, it doesn't fill you with hope that they're going to really conduct a thorough inquiry to find out the truth of someone's guilt. When that third Dragon Age game is called Inquisition, and the Inquisition is just like an army. Like you're not even like investigating anything. I don't know. That was weird. Surrender to him so that I can travel freely. Okay, so I'm going to surrender. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll be free. Okay, if that's what you say, and may your precision and persistence lead to success. Or, may your, I guess, for being cross-cultural here, may your honesty and valor lead to success? All the best, buddy. Great to... Wait, I meant to verify his name. Valkadesh. So hold on. Valkadesh, Naxatilor, Traxanusum. It could just be a number of syllables then. Your partial name only has 3 syllables. You get that 4th syllable when you become not just a wise gargoyle, but the wisest. Okay. So, from here I want to head back west, because I want to... Shimino, here's something. Is it a gargoyle, Shimino? Okay. So, find a building. Here's a building. So I think what we want to do is we want to verify which one is the host of knowledge, which will be the first one that we found tracing the mountains. Right? Right? Ah! Okay. Big snake. We don't know if that is a gargoyle's pet silver serpent, so we won't kill it. And, alright. If this is the Hall of Knowledge, which it could be, come on, Shimino, put your hand on the wall and tell us what the building is. Okay. So then if we went north... I was gonna say, it's very kind of them to have the bilingual signs, but that's not what this is. It's because I have the scroll. Very helpful, though. Thank you, Captain John, for your handy scroll. Excuse me, sir. Let's just save in case surrendering is a fool's game. Whoa! You can tell this guy's the leader because he has a rad tiara. I suppose headband. Circlet. Cool circlet. A large winged gargoyle of regal bearing. And he does look regal. To refrain from slaying you only because of the presence of the child, false prophet. Yes, I am. Using a gargoyle child as a human shield. You're correct. To express astonishment at your audacity, false prophet. Virtue of audacity, baby. What's your name? Traxanusum, leader of the race, to demand to know why you have come before me. I don't need to ask him his job now that he's told me he's the leader. I also know you're the Inquisitor. I was just wondering how you would feel if I flipped the script on you and just surrendered. Would a false prophet do that? Yes. As we've learned in recent years, in the last decade or so from numerous popular films, getting themselves arrested is often an essential part of the villain's plan. Let's find out. Yeah? This is it. I'm here to surrender. No? But... yes. Yep. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Because of virtue. I just love virtue, man. Alright. Fine. Shows me a crystal amulet dangling from a leather cord. To consent to wear this? Can you tell me about it? Like informed consent? No, look, I'll wear your cool necklace. Trusted Dupre whispers frantically, "You mustn't. It must be some sort of magical trap." Just go with it, dude. cool. Yeah, I'm going to try on your magic amulet. To surprise me with the nobility of your deed. To no longer be a threat to my people. It's the necklace of not murdering gargoyles randomly in the fields. That's what I wanted to do. I would have done that even if you hadn't given me this necklace. Alright, let's see what this necklace looks like. It's glowy. The Amulet of Submission. Kinky. Alright. We're all in now. A lamb to the slaughter, baby. Let's, I'm going to assume, just as Draxanussum was to the northwest of the Hall of Knowledge, Naxatilor will be here. Naxatilor the Seer. Alright, I gotta update his job. I had previously just written that he is the wisest gargoyle. But now I know he has an actual job. He is the Seer. Is it a gargoyle, Shimino? Actually, I guess it could be a silver serpent. They seem to have some of those crawling around. Naxatilor, just being a... Naxatilor just saw the Blair Witch Project. Just made its way to Gargoyle Land. He's just messing with us here. Standing in the corner like a creep. Hey, Naxatilor, I thought that to emphasize his wiseness, he'd have some kind of little hat. Like a gargoyle yarmulke. You know what I'm trying to say. To greet you, avatar of the underworld. Okay, so is this like a Discworld situation? I've never actually read the Discworld novels, so if I'm misunderstanding Discworld, forgive me, but a 2D world where there's a world on top and a world on bottom, like a flat world, but it's like a coin. Zine in the Might and Magic games is also like that. Okay, yes, greetings to me, the avatar of the underworld. Yes, I have this cool amulet. Ah, I like to think of myself as noble and wise. And honor, yeah, honorable. I mean, I am a being of honor, but to be clear, I'm also a being of valor, honesty, sacrifice, compassion, others, justice. Justice. I'm getting there. We get the spirituality, very spiritual, and through it all, I remain humble. Now you're the seer. Have you not foreseen that I'm about to throw a wrench into the whole idea that I'm the villain? I don't believe in fate. Well, I didn't know I was stealing it from you. Weird that the Codex didn't say anything about this. So you just said I'm fated, now you say... Well, he says I have no choice. But yeah, return the Codex or give up my life. I get that. You know, not where the Codex is. I mean, I know where it is. Captain Bolesh just returned from the Codex. So is this just a fact, you know, it's due to translation? Or is it, now, there, it took you long enough that I didn't put it together until now. You added that comment, David. Now I see what you're talking about. Exactly. He's so wise. That's how he got his full name when he took his wisdom hat off, and people were like, "Okay, now he gets it." Before that, he was just Naxatil. He sounded like a medication with 17 different side effects that the narrator reads at lightning speed at the end of the ad. So it turns out either it's just a translation thing, Or the Gargoyle military has the exact same ranks as human military, which would be interesting. But okay, Captain Bolesh just returned from the Codex. So it can't be far. I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's just in a place that I can't get to right now because the statues say I'm not on a spiritual quest. Seek him, try the healer's house to the north. Or Captain Bolesh is a human. And it just turns out that every human that the Gargoyles have ever been befriended holds the rank of captain. Okay. Thank you, Naxatilor. You know what I'm going to do with this balloon? Yeah. I mean, must. He's the seer. But he's busy. I'll be back when there is more to discuss, for sure. Good talking to you, pal. What's this thing? Oh, it's just a heat source. Wait, if I look in his crystal ball, I see nothing. If I use the crystal ball? It's bad to use the crystal ball. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a great heal for that one. Oh, but then it seems really selfish to do it for myself and not for the much more heavily wounded Shimino. And then it seems selfish to not help Gweno. This is not a good use of resources. I think this one is Gweno. Yeah, great. Whatever. Virtue of Sacrifice. Okay, north to the healer. The healer. Alright. You hear something, Shimino. Is it 3 swirling orbs of light? A light source. For like glow globes in Dune. Yes, David, I'm the same way. I mean, I never get too deep into magic systems anyway. But I always feel like I should. I'm trying... I'm slow, like, I'm not diving into a new game plus in Elden Ring, because it's a very long game and I just finished it. But I have made the character and, like, messed around a little, and I'm being a sorcerer, and I'm trying, because all I've ever done with sorcerers in Dark Souls is just a great soul arrow, like nothing else, just the standard blast of magic. So I'm trying to use some more varied stuff this time. Another gargoyle, somber and calm. I would have said just friggin' handsome. See the amulet, the symbol of your courage and nobility. Yeah, courage, nobility, wisdom, kindness, compassion. I'm symbolizing a lot with this. Wants to help however you can. Well, what's your name, sir? To be nameless, being only a healer. It seems to me like healers do a great service. But I guess the idea here, sacrifice is our virtue. Alright, so this is going to sound like a dumb question. Heal the wounded and cure the sick. He does it all as a service to society. That is, hey, virtue of sacrifice. Have you heard the good news about the Britannian virtues? No, we should not get evangelical at this moment. This is not the time. It was great to talk to you, sir, but I think I want to talk to you. Whoa! Yeah, he looks wounded. He's got his arm in a sling. He's lost at least one of his ears. He struggles to sit up. The false prophet! I do have the amulet of submission. Honor and courage, baby. Valor. Sacrifice. Very virtuous of me. I get the feeling you're Bolesh? Bolesh Usagra. Usagra Lem. Bolesh, the troop leader. Okay, so yeah, the captain thing is just how we're translating this. He's just called a troop leader. Okay, so you're a leader. Battle to take over our shrines? Kill humans? Listen, I understand. Oh yeah, you try to get to the Codex. How'd that go? Was it the statues not letting you through? Yep. So, Temple of Singularity. Okay. I think that just given how extremely virtuous I am, that the temple might make an exception. So where is this temple? In the mountains to the north. You need to fly to get there, though. All right. It's taking shape. I mean, okay, so this is the end game, right? Make the balloon, fly to the north, get the quest, go back to the Isle of the Avatar, grab the Codex, give it back to the Gargoyles. We're on the downslope. All right, exciting. Fly, you say? It does seem, now that you mention it, like two of you could just grab me under the shoulders and carry me there. Ah, but humans are not necessarily... I'm going to take the word captain out of his name here in my spreadsheet. Yeah, I think the Codex works given that the unifying thing, I want to say principle, but the thing that unifies the principles is the oh, I see what you mean. We might also have to work with Britannians to get them to not be angry that we're stealing the Codex. What a shame that we both had to derive our religions from the same one cool book. There's actually a lesson there, isn't there? There's a parallel to Earth in this story, to human civilization. Okay. Seek a sacred quest from the Temple of the Singularity in the mountains to the north, which can only be reached by flying. All right, very good to know. So, Mr. Gargoyle, Mr. Bolesh, you ever heard of a balloon? I'll show you later, man. Don't worry. My name is... Can we... Like, James or Avatar? Yeah, my sacrifice of giving you back the Codex. And nothing more. What else is going on here? The Goods Crafter. Pardon me. You can tell, yeah, this guy's... He didn't picture himself being a goods crafter when he was a kid. He wasn't like, I want to grow up and craft goods all day. I'm working on it. Give me a bit of time. Why is it too late? You sad sack. Oh no. Are you sure you don't want to discuss your grief with the person who caused it? Is it really stealing if I didn't even know, if none of us knew you people existed until recently? No. I don't like suffering at all. In fact, people are always telling me how compassionate I am. Man. Well, what's your name? Of course, he's a good crafter. Nothing at all now. Oh, man. What do you do? Crafts goods. But he has no reason. What kind of goods do you craft? Take what you want. Okay. Well. Oh, man. Well, he succeeded at making me feel bad. I am going to take this rope. I don't know. I already have one coil of rope, but I don't know how much rope I need. A xylophone. Don't think we need a xylophone, so we'll leave it there. The food maker. Let's see if the food maker is a little more cheerful. Excuse me. This guy does look boisterous. But it's for food preparation. Yep. Oh. Yeah. Cool. What kind of food do you make? Is it gonna be something gross? Like we boiled slugs, the greatest delicacy, or that kind of gag. Finely roasted meat. With a few strokes of his huge knife, he cuts me a huge slice of meat. Do I take it? Yeah. Party eats the food. Flavors unlike anything we've ever had before. I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, Elo. To be honest, I'm a little surprised that we're all eating this food before asking what it is, but okay. I guess we were hungry. Whatever. We eat all the bread that we find in the dungeons. At least this was cooked. Yes, sure. Oh. So what kind of meat is this? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to eat horse personally. But horse is just a meat that some humans eat. This is not quite the disgusting twist I think they were going for. I guess it's a whole different thing if you outfit your party with horses, and you get attached to them, or like if this was the Legend of Zelda, you know, if I was playing Breath of the Wild, it'd be tough to go look at my horse. But okay, great, thanks, pal. Wait, yeah, thanks, man. Okay. Well, we got some horse meat. And Dupre's still dragging around a skiff. We'll take that back to New Bajinsia when we get the chance, because that's where we left the cauldron, which we need to make the balloon. We'll probably go to the Hall of Knowledge now, too. There's lots to do. Here lie those that had no names. Here lie those who did have names. Those who have been sacrificed. My goodness. They also had no names. Okay. The sacrificial slab. Okay. Yeah. So. Do not want to end up on that. Within this chamber rest the bones of kings. We won't disturb them. The altar of singularity. Can't get there yet. It's over the mountains. Okay. Whoa. Yep, this gargoyle does look healthy. Although I would have said something like delirious. Yep. Yeah. Everyone. I get this a lot. Thank you. Yeah, my name is James. I did nothing to earn it. I was given this name on the first day of my life. And to greet you. Oh ho. So the healers cannot get names. The goods maker can't have a name. I didn't ask the food maker his name. Taking some quick notes here. The food maker loves horse flesh. The goods maker is just bummed out. And he's a bummer. Bummed and bummer. And now, Krill, Oos, Arb, Beh Lem. More evidence for my suggestion that you get 4 syllables. Actually, no. This guy's got 5, technically. He's got 2 names. Anyway, he's the leader of the farmers. So you're the leader. What? Forced by necessity to give the wingless no room for choice or freedom. So, the valuable members of society who need firm control and strong leadership. Alright. I don't know. I mean, it's better than if they were like eugenicists. But I don't love the we have to treat them like this for their own good. So, freedom. It does seem harsh. Are you sure, though, that there's no other way? So what's Nash's problem? Does he give too much freedom to his... Okay. Yeah. Okay. It was a pleasure to meet you, Krilusar Beh Lem. Although, you know, I'm not super comfortable with this whole setup. But, I mean, okay, they can't talk to me. Okay. I want to go meet this Nash. This is the meat of Ultima for me. Just getting to a new place and being like, what do people here think about stuff? Do any of them know where a special thing is? Like, harvesting the information is obviously important and good and fun. It's getting dark. We're gonna have to settle down. Fortunately, we have plenty of horse flesh. I don't know that you should be having horse flesh for dinner when you also had it for lunch. To be completely honest, I have no idea. I do not know about the nutritional content of horse flesh. There's no way this counts as wilderness, though. Can't camp down here. Gargoyles, I think they're not going to find us as noble if we're just sleeping in the road. And yet the forests are thick everywhere we go. Okay, what are we right here? Not while foes are near. Uh-oh. Is it Silver Serpent or something? Or are the gargoyles... Are the wingless still... This is not wilderness. Are the wingless still classed as foes, even though we know now that they are not our foes? This is not wilderness. Oof. Alright, you know what? Strike up a torch, Shimino. We'll just keep it going all night. It takes all night, baby. Although then again, now that I think about it, we're not going to meet this Nash at night, probably. If his whole thing is being undisciplined. And surely he goes to bed. Just left some meat there. Yeah, he's asleep. That's probably Nash. Okay, hopefully this is the eastern edge of Gargoyle Society, and we can sleep in Nash's backyard if we can get around. If we can circumnavigate his home. Or just camp right here. Nope. Is all Gargoyle land considered civilized? No. Good news. Okay. 9 hours. The Avatar will guard. Chow down on the horseflesh team. Alright. Excellent. Do we eat the horseflesh? Yes. Yum. Okay. The Gargoyles do get up much earlier than the Britannians. Virtue of diligence. Or principle of diligence. Wait, hold on. And so, if it's the principle of diligence, what virtues leading them to get up early? Like balance, persistence, direction. Venerable old Gargoyle. Not obvious to me just looking at him that he's old, unless that's an amulet of age. Hey! Oh, did he mention that? Because I don't think he told me about you. He's the seer, though. Yeah, so, I mean, who are you? You lack a name. And yet you're called Lord Beh Lem. Make up your mind, pal. He's the Scholar of Light. Very good. Beaming with pride. What do you do? Crafts lenses. Haha. So you keep apprentices. Oh no. The joke. Lord Beh Lem. I don't think I get the joke. But hold on. Give me one last chance to get the joke. I'll ask him his name again. So hold on. Your name was? He lacks a name. But he's called Lord Beh Lem, Scholar of Light. Hold on. Is it a spell language joke? Because obviously lore is light. Lem. Okay. Tell me the joke, British. Ah. Right, because Wiz is in... Lore, Wiz... Okay. Odd that they're using the Britannian spell words for their nicknames. That's cool. Cross-cultural pollination. So yeah, you're ending your time. Naxatilor is older than you. The Vortex Lens. Huh. Then why are you almost dead and he's chilling? What about these lenses? Okay. Okay. I should record this. I don't know what the lenses do, but we'll talk to Naxatilor about the lens on the way back. So yeah, there's also a spell word Ylem, like a Y in front of Lem. So, and that's create. Yeah. So he's a wise creator of light. He makes lenses. His name is a foreign spell word pun. It's a nickname. You know where these pieces are? Yeah. Well, it's nice to meet you. Even if I was actually looking for Nash the farmer. I did see there was I don't know if it was a second farm, but there's a farm here. I don't know if it's a distinct farm from the first one. But one thing we do is look for the farmer, and if it's the same farmer, then obviously we have our answer. I think this is a different farm though. No, it's just Farmer Krill. I really enjoyed, I mean it wasn't much of a conversation, but it's always nice to see you, Farmer Krill. Huh. Is there? I was actually just staring at the spells and working it out from there. Boom. Ah, here it is. Lore is light, Wiz is know or knowledge, and Lem is matter. His knowledge of the matter of light. Yep, he makes lenses. That's how they came up with the name. Okay, so can we go even further east and meet this other farmer? Avoid the random lava pit. Oh, evil plant. Leave us alone, evil plant. No, we'll kill you. We'll kill you. Oops. There we go. Killed. Not an expert on like how to actually kill the Danglevines. They don't just vanish when you kill them. Okay. Where's his other farm? Just want to talk to this Nash guy and hear about his faulty ideas. We're back to Valkadesh here, aren't we? Yes. Yep. I do have loads of respect. Everywhere I go. They showered upon me. Do you know what lenses? You know... Alright. Never mind. You know what the balloon... Just don't worry about it. Okay. Well, didn't have great luck finding this other farmer. Yet. I guess we can look for some more. I haven't been to the Hall of Knowledge. Who knows what we might learn in the Hall of Knowledge. of Knowledge, right? Yep. Hello! He's old, he's winged. This one looks old. It's the lines in his forehead and the fact that he wears pince-nez. Odd device, crafted of glass and metal. A pince-nez rests upon his face. Yes, to require but the reason for this interruption. I was just wondering what your name is. He's the caretaker, in lieu of a name. If you're ever looking for an upgrade, you could go with Curator. It's kind of seems like a museum here. Performs his duties in the hall. So what are your duties? Care for the artifacts. This is the hall. Treasure artifacts. 3 chambers. Hello again, Waffle Syrup. We're getting to know the gargoyles, who, to my delight, all have distinct portraits. I was a little... early on, I thought there was a chance we'd get here and, like, maybe Beh Lem would have his own portrait. Not that I knew who Beh Lem was, but, like, when I met Beh Lem, I thought, okay, maybe he's the only distinct portrait because he's the one who joins us. No, they took the time to personalize the gargoyles. 3 rooms. Artifacts from the underworld in the human chamber. Valuable books in the Librum chamber. And to keep the cube and the lens in the vortex chamber. Tell me of this cube. So the cube... Yeah, okay. Humans stole the cube. Stonegate. They mentioned Stonegate and sailed through the Bay of Lost Hope. Okay. Sounds like a thing we might be able to help them out with. What about this lens? It's in the vortex chamber, yeah. In the vortex chamber. Yeah, you got 3 rooms. Great! Good talking to you, Gargoyle. Or caretaker, sorry. Okay. So, I saved just in case it's considered a grave sin to dispel the fields in the Hall of Knowledge. Looks like we're okay. It's a hammer. It's a lute. A crossbow. It's just human artifact. Makes sense. A dress. A rolling pin. Pants. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, that's what a museum is. In our museums, it's just like, you know. Here's a Viking spoon. Dispel field. Zap. The vortex chamber. So this vortex is slowly consuming the land, which is not great. Broken lens. Alright. Pretty sure I can't just take this back to the lens maker. Just in case. It's too heavy. How much does it weigh? 2.8 stones. Jeez, the Avatar's laden down with things. I'll just give all the money to somebody else. Still need to give up some stuff. How much is a glass? Wait, boomerang. Doesn't weigh much, but... Hey, have a backup, buddy. Okay. At any rate, probably... No, we are just allowed to steal. Well... I don't know what the lens is for. But we now have the technology, or we have what we need to get the lens put back together. The pieces of a broken lens. So let's immediately do that before we finish exploring the Hall of Knowledge. Hello, wise lens guy. Yeah. How smug is it to just say I'm better now than I was when I feel like the game is being a little hard on him there. Great. Yeah. So now we have a vortex lens. Nice. If we return to the Hall of Knowledge, is the caretaker mad that we stole the vortex lens and got it repaired? Did the caretaker not realize that the original crafter of the lens is just one of the folks in his town who lives down the road? It is kind of a long walk. Yeah, yet another interruption. Check this out. Yeah. He doesn't care that we stole the lens. He doesn't care that we got it fixed. I don't know what it does. I know it weighs 2.8 stones. Cool. What's this? Yeah, my bags are heavy. Especially my potion bag. Oh well. Cool. Let's check the final room. The Librum. Read some of those gargoyle books. Book of Prosperity. Okay, good. I sure hope there's a translation for this. I do not want to decipher the runic script on stream right now, but I will if you force me to. Alright, long ago, the great seer Naxatulor summoned the Codex into the world. Thus began the great time of prosperity. Okay. The Codex was placed within the Temple of Singularity, there to be required by those viewed by those requiring its knowledge. We called the Temple of Singularity the Stygian Abyss in Britannia. Seers of the land, led by Naxatulor, protected the Codex with a force field. Only those upon sacred quests for wisdom are allowed to reach and read the Codex. Written within the Codex. Within the Codex is written the one right and true answer to any problem. One is but to read the Codex, reach the Codex, read it, and interpret its advice properly. That's all you gotta do. With perfect wisdom and infallible knowledge, all that remains is to have control, passion, and diligence to follow the proper course. These are the underpinnings of our society, and so our race is able to use the Codex wisely and well. That's why the Codex exists. How about that? Book of Ritual. Written by Naxatulor himself. Writes how he brought the Codex. How'd you do it? With the help of the lens maker, I crafted the vortex lens, by which I could see the Codex where it originally rested. I created the vortex cube to focus the power of the moonstones and draw the vortex down to the world. Then, he used the lens to form an image of the Codex upon the cube. The vortex touched our plane, the image became solid, and the Codex was brought down to be used properly by our race. So, I'm developing the sneaking suspicion that it's not enough to just get to where the Codex should be. And we're going to need to get there and reproduce this ritual. So I'm glad we have the vortex lens repaired already. And I'll have to look at the map soon and remember where the Bay of Lost Hope is. Cool! Cool! The Book of the Underworld. But the Underworld is the overworld. To us. Deep below the land, there is another land. In that land live many strange creatures. The most interesting of these creatures looks something like our wingless ones. These demons, however, are pale and soft. Hey, come on, man. Some say these demons from the underworld can speak. And to be sure, they make sounds that are similar to our language. But as everyone knows, no creature without wings is truly intelligent. Fables of talking demons must be discredited. Oh. Trying to say bye. Oh. Trying to say bye, so I launched combat mode. You don't have to say goodbye to books when you're done reading them. Book of Administration. For countless ages, we winged ones have led the wingless ones. This is right and proper. But we must always remember that they are less valuable, no less valuable than we. Okay. Whew. A body with no head cannot move, but neither can a body with no legs. So the wingless ones are the legs of society. All must function in unity if anything is to be achieved. So guide the wingless ones and keep them from paths of error, but guide them with respect. You can kind of tell that they came up with the winged, wingless distinction, and then we're like, we gotta make very clear in the game, this is not like American 19th century slavery propaganda. We gotta draw a very clear line. We gotta underline it. The Book of Family. When a child hatches from his egg, he is born without wings. But even from birth... Where are the gargoyle ladies? We haven't met a gargoyle lady... Or maybe we have, and we just don't recognize it. Or maybe there's just no sexes. They're monosexual. Non-sexual? I don't know what the word would be. When a child hatches from his egg, he is born without wings. But even from birth... One can tell whether a child would grow up to be a winged or a wingless one, based on whether he can talk and stuff like that, I guess. Wingless ones cannot speak. They lack the intelligence of the winged ones. They must be guided. The winged ones are few, but they're entrusted with the intelligence and wisdom of the race. They must guide. Both winged and wingless ones spring from the same eggs, and both belong to the same family. All function as a single whole to better maintain the struggle for survival in our world. Okay, gotta take some quick notes here on the ritual itself. First of all, ritual items. Lens, cube, acquired, and the cube yeah, because I think British that like they really don't want us to interpret it that way, so they're going to great ends to be like, this is not. They sincerely believe this. They don't mistreat the wingless ones. The wingless ones literally can't speak. It's all like, yeah. But I can see your point too, and I suppose it makes a lot of sense that you know. My North American brain goes one way and your European brain goes the other. Alright. One last time. Yeah, you got the lens. That showed you where it was. Okay. I don't really need to write down this ritual. It's just use the lens, use the cube, use the lens. Lens, cube, lens. Oh, almost tried to say goodbye to the book and had us all draw our swords once again. Alright. Alright. Should talk to Naxatulor again. Hey, so tell me about your cube. You don't have time. What about the lens? Show the human lens maker the vortex lens. Also, to be sure to tell the human lens maker that his lens must be concave. To be most important, concave. I ran into a problem. During the pandemic, in my third year class, I added a quiz that was just a basic multiple choice quiz that is only there to say, hey, you get a prize if you just read the readings and listened to the lectures and thought about it all. Nothing that challenging. And I had a guest lecture from a friend of mine about ecology and engineering design and unintentional results and stuff. And one of the examples she used was about a building that was built in England, and it had like a concave window or something like that, such that you might be able to see where this is going. It concentrated the sunlight on a single point with great concentration. It was like melting cars and setting shit on fire. Big problem. And so, anyway, in her lecture, she said convex when she meant concave. And then when I was making the quiz, I was like, I need one question about Sarah's guest lecture. So I was watching it to find the part where she, like, just find something that I asked a question about. And I heard that. And without even thinking, I just wrote down what she said as the right answer. But of course, and even I like, this is not something I didn't know. I just wasn't thinking because I was just writing down what I heard her say without thinking about it in a hurry. A convex glass surface could not concentrate light. This is probably why it's so important that I tell a human lens maker. Although I've clearly also jumped over a bit of his words here. So I'm going to ask him some other questions. Yeah. I put the quiz up with the wrong word. And for 3 full semesters, no one noticed. And then last semester created chaos. First, because some students wrote to me to be like, it seems like this one's supposed to be the right answer. Except a convex lens wouldn't do that. And I was like, no, you're right. A convex lens wouldn't do that. I don't know why I made that mistake. I only later found out that it wasn't my fault. So I corrected it. And then I started getting emails from students who were being very literal. And they were like, this says concave, but she definitely says convex in the video lecture. Fortunately, we'll be done with video lectures. And I'll just be like, hey, Sarah, make sure you say convex. Or concave, not convex. Oh, no. Don't say any words. Just put your hands up in a concave shape. Okay. So if I ask you about your ritual. There. Go to the Hall of Knowledge. Read the Book of Ritual. I did. Ah. I've done that. I have returned. Yeah. And then I say lens and go to the human lens maker. Get him to also make a lens. So lens 2. I'll put concave lens. I was once the only back when I was a janitor, we had to do a basic quiz about infection control measures, and I was the only housekeeper who didn't get 100% because there was the answer was written wrong, and so as the writing guy, like I was already working. Like I didn't have my job yet, but I was working with those people, and I was thinking about writing a lot. And also I do the English degree and stuff. And so I alone overthought it and could not like recognize the right answer. Whereas all my colleagues were just like, yeah, whatever. Like it has the keywords, even if the sentence doesn't make sense. I wound up being like offering a silly rant to my colleagues, but they didn't write the quiz, so nobody had to apologize. But that's awesome. And it's awesome both that you achieved that, but also that he did that. Because people need to you gotta admit when you're wrong, you know? Or you should. Show the vortex lens to the human lens maker make sure he makes a concave lens. Alright. Yeah, it sounds important. I mean, I assume this lens we're going to get him to make but the moral victory is worth more in the long run than the points. Okay, so vortex lens to see where the codex is, cube to call it down, and then probably the concave lens to concentrate light on it and print it onto the cube and create a new codex. Oh, maybe we need to create a new codex so that there's two. Maybe it's not that one of them is missing. It's just everyone. Why don't we? Just, if everyone has their own codex, problem solved. Who knows? Okay. Do you have anything to say about the cube? No. He doesn't want to explain the cube to me. All right. What else? What else did Bullish? Yeah, the temple. He has no time. Singularity. No. Okay. I visited the Hall of Knowledge. We just talked. I understand. I understand why you're doing that prompt, though. Okay. Alright. I mean, there's at least one gargoyle I haven't met, because this Nash guy's got to be somewhere. But we don't need to meet him right now. Or what if the gargoyle... No. I was about to say, what if the gargoyles have a different conception of what's east? But we know they don't, because Beh Lem gave me directions. Oh, here's another gargoyle home. Dwelling. Ah. But this one goes to bed early. That's how they get the energy to get up so early. Alright. Well, at any rate, I mean, we can just teleport back here. Well, now, we won't be immediately attacked. So I'm going to look around a little bit more. But I think it's time to, we gotta find this cube, we gotta get this second lens, and we gotta make a balloon. First, let's camp down. The Avatar will guard. Whew. Yellow just couldn't find a comfortable enough spot for a moment there. Jeez. I went to bed too early. Hold on. Someone other than Shimino has torches, right? Not the Avatar. Not Dupree. Shimino is, by definition, is not someone other than Shimino. No, we're just out of torches. I would have sworn we picked up an additional supply of torches. Whoops. No, don't need to be invisible. At the moment. Okay. Whatever. We'll buy some torches when we're home. Alright. Keep my eye on the clock. Just about LUNCH time. For the KITTIES. Here we go. What am I doing? Back to New Magintia first, to return the skiff. And then we'll seek the human lens maker. And then we'll seek the cube. And along the way... Freshman year, yep. And what was it, British? Okay. New Magintia. Spot 11. 2 to the west of the Avatar. prey. Lobs the skiff back into the sea. I guess you might as well also grab the cauldron while we're here. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I cleaned this mouse out. Every click works the first time. It feels great. It's a nice place to be. Okay, where's the lens maker? Okay. Oh, hey. Here is the... Yeah. Penumbra's prophecy. Oh, engineering informatics, basics of programming. I was looking away at the moment. When you made him aware... Yes. Oh, that was new at the time? The bad news is that whatever I wrote the human lens maker's job down as, I didn't use the word lens. Glasses maker? I'm gonna look around here. Yes. Blacksmith in the Buccaneer's Den. Oh dear. Well, I certainly do wish that I had clearly identified. Oh! So that was the new one. Base 2. Like binary? Is that... Am I remember? Is binary base 2? Ah, yes. Giga binary. How about that? Oh, probably Dale the glass blower is the lens maker, right? Only one way to find out, and that's to go to Minnock. So we'll go there first. Boom. What gets us to Minnock? 25. Yes, I certainly do. Very familiar with that because the pandemic has left my work computer permanently full because of the large video files I'm recording all the time. Huh. So there's just like a translation issue, sort of. All right. Here we go. So what's this fella's name? The glass blower. I mean, I could be wrong. He could also just. Huh. Dale. Dale the glass blower. I have a good feeling that Dale is my guy. We'll find it. I think the majority of my... This is obviously the clockmaker. That's a blacksmith, right? Especially in a town with as many craftsmen as Minnock has, they should give some serious thought to hanging signs outside of their shops. This will be a shipwright. 25 stone anchor. How are we going to carry an anchor and a cauldron to finish assembling our balloon? Prey is going to have to get jacked. Whoa. That guy did not want me coming in his house. Walk near someone's house and they burst out with a halberd. That's when you turn around and walk away slowly. This is not Dale. This is Julia. Poor bugged out Julia. Who can never remember that we've met her again and again and again. This wasn't where Dale the lens maker was. Glass blower. Is glass blower gonna... I feel like glass blower is my best bet, at least so far. So I gotta find him. Well, so people gotta get up. This is the clockmaker, and yet Troy, indeed he's a something looking man. I don't know. He's definitely got a look to him. I don't know if spidery is the word I would go to, but he's definitely some kind of weirdo. What? Why lock the door to the docks? Especially when there's an unlocked door so close. Alright. Come on, Dale. Where's your shop, man? So that's a cheesery. Is that the word for it? I know that's not the word for it. Here we are. No way this is not the glass blower, right? And yet, middle of the day, he's not in bed. Oh, maybe he's at lunch. Wherever he is, it'd be great if he came back. So we get to the bottom of this question of whether he's our guy. Wine glass, glass bottle. Maybe that's a glass candle. He's got a mirror. Is that Dale? Alright, he's back from lunch. Knowing Britannians, he could just be going to bed. Short, barrel-chested man. From what we can tell, he looks barrel-chested. And a good afternoon to thee, Dale. Remind me, he makes glassware generally. You make lenses? Oh, but can you tell me? It's one near the Lyceum. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Dale. Alright. So in one way that was a bust, and the other way was not a bust, because now we know where we're going. So let me double check. Okay, what am I missing? For my balloon, I need a large basket, a silk bag, and an anchor. Are the bags that we already have silk? Or are they just bags? So that would certainly make things easy. But if not, I bet I can get one from like a weaver or a cloth maker. Yeah, that's just a bag. Alright, we'll worry about that later. Right now, I'm interested in this lens. Let's go to the Lyceum. Be warped to Moonglow. It's position 1. 2 to the northwest of the Avatar. And near the Lyceum, you imply heading north. You know what? I go to Moon. Yeah, if anyone... I didn't write down that anyone's job was lens maker up here, but it's an island, so there's not that much to be searching. Didn't even get attacked by any snakes, so that's good. The mice Alright, finish the snake slaughter for the day. So, let's talk to some people. Is this a glass blowery? Probably not. A lens makery? Dargoth. No, I haven't. Sorry, man. Wait. Are you a lens maker on the side? I mean, I guess even when a dude's an arrogant jerk. Host for sale. Probably no lens maker in there. Presaging. I won't be surprised when I get to Ultima 7 if it's possible to buy a house, but certainly presaging the Ultima Online experience. Where earning enough money to get a house, which is a huge part of the game. Oh, I didn't see blood. That's, yeah. Like, I mean, people obviously do buy murder houses. But I think usually there's a, yeah. What the hell? Alright. I need to know more here. Just in case it's considered uncouth to magically bust your way in. Just blood. Grim. But yeah, you sell the house much faster if you mop up that blood before showings. You'll also sell the house faster if you market it more aggressively than by just... Okay. Are you a lens maker? Just remind me what you said your job is. You also make glasswares and instruments. Like lenses for telescopes and stuff? Yep. Here we go. Ephemerides. Absolutely absurd looking man. Yes, concave. And just to make sure, we both know that concave is like the part of the spoon that the soup goes into, right? Oh ho! I have a glass sword. Yeah, we definitely also, yeah. Don't do convex, but also don't make a conclave. Like, we don't need this lens to be an entire, like, secretive meeting place. You son of a bitch. I haven't even turned away from you. Alright. Okay. I overreacted. I'm sorry. That was a funny joke. I mean, listen. I'm not the Gargoyle avatar. I don't do control. I mean, we have hundreds of gold pieces. Are you sure? I don't mind rewarding you. I need the lenses to save 2 worlds. So, you've done a good service here, Ephemerides. Thank you. It was nice talking to you, too. Alright. Yeah, my instinct, as soon as... Once I knew I had to go to Moonglow, I was like, it's probably that weirdo with the... loves looking at the stars, right? Okay. So now... we have the lens of the Gargoyle lens, the Vortex lens, and the Britannian lens. And not perfect artistic representations, but I think I get how this one's convex and this one's concave. Okay. All right. Acquired. And now, oh wow. So the cats have obviously started napping because none of them came up 10 minutes past LUNCH time. So, brief intermission, folks, while I feed those cats, and I'll be right back. And we'll start hunting the cube. Alright, back at it. It's time to hunt the cube. Which opens with me having to stare at the map for a moment. So bear with me here. Bay of Lost Hope. Which one is that? Oh, it's just the one to the south of the, of Minnock. Right? Wait. Maybe it's not. Hold on. I gotta remind myself. I gotta refresh my memory on some of the letters. Some of the runes. One sec. Okay, no. It's not the one south of Minnock. Which is a shame, because for a moment I was like, does the Cyclops family just have the cube? Is their kid just playing with the cube? Okay. Alright, this is a little bit of a concern. Not sure there's a labeled Bay of Lost Hope on this map. Buccaneer's Den. Is it on? Hold on. Hold on. B-A-Y Lost Hope. Okay. No. Islands that we're familiar with. Oh. It's just called... It's called Lost Hope Bay. It is the one that's south of Minnock. And the human child could easily be the son of the people who stole that lens. Back to Minnock. Here we go. Oh wait, hold on. Well, let's go to Minnock. Let's hope. I think I own a skiff that's parked near Minnock. Because we gotta go. Oh wait, and the way to Minnock. Oh, position 25. Right where Elo's standing. There we go. And away we go. I mean, we got so much money. I can just buy a new skiff if I need to from the shipwright. Save us the time. Going back to New Magentia and just constantly borrowing that one skiff. I mean, the guy's so humble. He'll let us keep borrowing the skiff, but like, should we? Okay. Can I just use one of these? Yeah. Perfect. So let's go down. Alright, Stonegate was the... Wasn't Stonegate the name of the... Right. Stonegate was the Shadow Lord's temple, right? Or castle. Which is where the Cyclops family lives. So, best case scenario is not what I think is going to happen here. The best case scenario would be if... we could just talk to the kid, say cube, and he's like, oh yeah, my dad lets me play with this cube. Then we just gotta say, kid, I'm sorry. The world needs you to show the virtue of sacrifice and give up your favorite toy. Stompy stomp stomp. Hey, Mama Cyclops. Yeah, I'll play with your tiny one. Does he ever play with a cube? Oh man. Was it blue? Oh no. Okay, thank goodness. The mail keeps it in the cellar. Cellar no go. DPP locked. Talk mail, have key. Yeah, we've already done that part. Thank you, Mama. So, oh no, is it dark down here? I think it's lit. No, of course not. Should have bought torches. I'm so sure that somebody else in the party was carrying torches. Did the Avatar put them in a bag? Probably not. And yes, this could also have just been solved by me acquiring the spell. Oh, there it is. Okay. Whew. 5 torches. Fingers crossed that's enough. Into the cellar. Let's go. So, first thing, we're just looking for ways down, I think. So, we'll take the northeast one first. Why not? I don't have a particular plan here for finding the big black cube. Okay. So, northeast gives us one other option to go deeper. Electric field. Can't dispel an electric field, right? But we've got loads of reagents compared to last time I came here. So we'll find the switches. I was here before, and I gave up searching because I hadn't brought enough castings of Magic Unlock for all the... Like, a lot of these doors, even the ones that I've opened already, I think every door was magic locked. Which does raise the question, are the Cyclopses casting the magic locks? Cyclopes? Cyclopes? And, ugh. Is 30 even going to be enough? Who knows? See a big black cube? No. Okay. If we take this back up, where do I go? Another place that was just way down. This is probably northwest one, right? No. This was... Okay, how many ways down are there? Verify that. Northwest. Okay, so this is just southwest. Alright. Let's check the northwest one. We gotta find a switch to turn off the electric field. Or we need to do a completely unrelated thing to that. One or the other. The answer will be A or it'll be not A. Is... Can't move the carpet. Can we just search under the carpet? Find nothing. Okay. I was thinking maybe there's a secret under the carpet. For now, I'm not looking for secret doors yet. Because I hate looking for secret doors in these very large dungeons. For the simple, small floor size dungeons. Ultima's 4 and 5. For a little first-person, tile-based exploration. Oh well. Take it down. This is the southeast. And it does lead deeper. Good. To a place that I've obviously been to. I should verify here that I'm 99% sure I cannot simply dispel this field, but yeah. But if I could, it would be foolish to have not tried it. Okay. This takes us back to the northwest, of course, right? Yep. Okay. 4 ways back up, corresponding to the 4 ways down. Try southeast one last time. Before I bite the bullet, start looking for secret doors. Might as well be thorough. It's exactly what it looks like. I go down there, and I'm in this stairwell. Opposed to this one, which takes me back up to the southwest, which really does make me think that it's just the northwest way is where the answer must be, because all of the 3 just connect to this. And the northwest way also just did not have an obvious second way. Wait a minute. No, my eyes played tricks on me. For a moment, I thought I saw a different looking wall, which, as I've learned in at least one of these dungeons, isn't a prerequisite for there being a hidden thing anyway. Infuriating me. Okay. Is it just a Zelda torch puzzle? does not seem to be. But also, this does, Shimino hears something to the west. Painful. Nonetheless, we're closing in. I'm time constricted here. Gotta stop at 4 p.m. Atlantic. On account of the exact same reason I'm doing the stream early. Okay. I take comfort in the fact that at least we've searched it all. And it didn't take too long, this is not a huge floor. Searched the middle. I'm skeptical the middle's gonna have anything. Also nice. Yeah. Do you hear... Can you echolocate a little more precisely and tell me, like, which wall it's coming from beyond? I guess let's check the west wall here, just in case. Okay. There were also ladders up. I don't know if that means anything. Then there's the ladder down here. What is this place? There's a tile there. I can't use it. Shimino hears something here too. I think Shimino's random hearing of things is just an artifact of some of the dungeons being, you know, constructed with multiple things on the same one place. Is the kid awake? Hey, Miles! You know anything about finding this cube? Okay, have you seen any switches? No. Alright. You have any hints? Oh, this is Mama. Yes, I'll play with the tiny one. I love it. The Cyclops family is so wholesome. But alright, they're gone to bed. How is this not... Can't move the tile. There's nothing there. Wait a minute. Oh! Team, come on. You have no choice but to bring the team down, and then they cover all the switches. But, now we... Alright, mystery solved. Let's just hit them all. Kind of an obnoxious puzzle, but... Oh no. Did all those switches just shut these gates? We gotta go back. Okay. I did the north switch and the east switch. Now, some but not all of the gates here are open. And then, of course, we wonder what the electric field situation is. It'd be grand if it was just open now. It's not. Can't walk through it. Is the bottom one open? No. Okay. 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 Right. If all the switches were flipped one way and it hadn't deactivated the fields, then there's only two possibilities. If those switches are the solution to the electric field, there aren't that many possibilities here. Let's try flipping the north one again. Because it could be a gimmick where hitting all the switches opens the doors, but also in the process of so doing activates the electric fields. Well, that didn't do the trick. Oh, it's just a hidden switch. Literally right there on the wall. Mystery solved. There's nothing here. But okay. You know what? Why am I doing this in the dark? We can buy plenty more torches when it's time. Okay. Obviously, okay, it's all coming together now. Door's locked. Oh, well, hold on. The Avatar might actually have the key to this one, since we did have the cellar key. Is this my key bag? Yeah. We'll try it before. I mean, if the Avatar doesn't have the key, Dupre has the key. The Avatar had it. The cube. Alright. We're picking up steam as we roll towards our glorious victory. I don't know why I saved. Like, there's a big risk I'm going to mess up the process of saying dispel field, clicking once. Oh, the cube is too heavy. Oh yeah, jeez. I'm actually over encumbered. I mean, what am I doing with these pan pipes? They weigh nothing. It doesn't matter. What is the cube itself weigh? 4 stones. Jeez. Okay. Who's got the room? Obviously Dupre. Shimino, thou shalt have the honor of carrying the great big vortex cube. Okay. Okay, jeez. It's all coming together pretty quick here. We're not going to beat the game today, but unless there's another... I mean, at the very least, I got to assume the Temple of Singularity is a dungeon. But we are getting there. For sure. Gotta make sure to go out the right way. Since in fact, I should have just left all those switches flipped, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Alright. Take that, Shadow Lords. We've overcome your devious traps. Again. La da 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 da. Take our skiff back to Minnock. And then we have there's 3 pieces left, but we know at least where an anchor is. So the most pressing matters are the silk bag and the large basket. Now the large basket was how I knew that long before anyone told me I needed a balloon in this game. I knew I needed a balloon because I met a weaver whose father once knew how to make a large basket. And because, wise avatar that I am, I knew that was going to be important later. I recorded it in my sheet. Here we are. So first, we gotta go talk to Michelle the Weaver in Minnock. And we're in Minnock. How convenient. This is obviously not the Weaver's shop. That's the inn with the angsty goth innkeeper. She can't remember if she was goth. She's certainly a ball of angst. She can't study at the Lyceum. Oh, I listen to these people, even the ones who are rude and dismissive to me. I learn their stories. The Avatar would be a good politician. I communicate that I care by remembering little details of the weird things people say to me. Okay. If only I could remember where they located their shops. Will a shipwright, down the line just sell us an anchor? All else fails, we can use telekinesis to drag it out somewhere where no one can see us so it's not stealing. All this time later, remember when I had to blow the door in the U jail because none of the keys that I could get out of his desk, out of the jailer's desk, would open that door? With the benefit of hindsight, I now realize that the answer was to use the pickpocket spell because the jailer had that key on his person. Probably. Oh well. Hey, poor forgetful Julia. I think this is it, but no. Isabella. Yeah, I mean, while I'm here, do you know anything about a silk bag? Okay, in what order did I meet these people? Looks like I met Michelle after I met the innkeeper and right before I met Dale the glassblower. Can I operationalize that knowledge? Here's the inn. The shop. Right. I took her to... I was like, it's a cheese place. But, that's actually a beehive. It's Michelle. Hey, Michelle. You were telling me about a basket? No. Okay. What can I learn here? She makes baskets just like her father. Tell me of your father. Yeah. But did he tell you where they might be? Am I carrying the plans and didn't realize it? Great. This is my this is that one word of power that I got just because I was asking every NPC, hey, you know any words of power? This is that moment in Ultima 6 for me. Did not realize I'd found the plans. But I did. Yes. This is coming together. This is picking up steam. I'm gonna say no. I think I have. I think her name is Charlotte, but to go to the temple? It's complicated. Don't feel like, you know, don't feel bad that you don't understand. I'm just being grateful. You have greatly. Alright. Dupre's struggling now. He's got the large balloon basket. He's got the cauldron. He's got some rope. The Avatar's got some rope. We need a silk bag from a weaver. I believe that Charlotte is going to be our savior here. I don't have much time left today. But I think I do have time to go wherever this Charlotte is and see if indeed she is our basket maker. So let's do it. Charlotte Weaver is in New Magenta. Excellent. Let's go. Don't even have to look. 2 to the west of the Avatar. Well, I mean, that's how the names... That's literally why there are people with the last name Weaver. Because their ancestors were renowned weavers. So when it was time for the common folk to have last names just like the aristocrats, you know, well, you know, just like the blacksmith was like, I'm John Smith, I guess. Call me John Smith. Is this Charlotte? This is Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte. Pretty young woman, downcast eyes. Yep. Hello again, my lord. Charlotte. Okay. So I need to bring the silk. Sure. Is it silk cloth? Ah. Jeez, yeah. I can't carry anything. Hold on a second. Charlotte? Do we have money left? We spent all our money on basket? Yellow's got enough money to buy cloth, which is not silk. No, I do not think the cloth is silk. So let's not spend that money right now. Let's... Alright, so when we get the silk, Charlotte will make a bag. The only place the word silk appears in my spreadsheet is in the list of things that I need for the balloon. So, cloth. Yeah, we're not going to find the silk that we need laying on the ground right next to Charlotte Weaver. I'm not really shocked by that. Okay. Let's look at people's job descriptions. I'm looking right now at the folks. What if Fyodor the tailor in Britain, you know, the fanciest city, we might have some silk. Let's go to Britain. I mean, we might be able to catch Lord British. Get some free healing. Boom, 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 boom. Buy more torches while we're there. Ah, Chuckles. Sorry, Chuckles. I wasn't coming here to look for you. Lord British, you in here? Oh well. We don't need the healing right now. Because we're probably also going to have trouble catching Fyodor before he closes his shop at like... Bye. Yeah, that's not... Man. You're not fooling anybody with this act, dude. No one thinks you're the king. No one thinks later that when they're at the Blue Boar that they're talking to you when they get a drink. It's the tailor up here in the commercial district. Yep. Is that a silk loom? He knows about silk. Okay, but do you know someone who is? Okay. That does not supply us with the silk, though. Okay. Right. So we need to find silk. Yes. Although I think also when we asked her about silk and she was like, but you don't even have any silk. That was also a clue. Okay. So, I'm going to look at the jobs of everybody. See, does anybody here sound like they might be silk makers? I suppose I should have asked Michelle about silk while I was there. In Minnock. Where else? Yeah, like... now, I didn't even think of spider silk. But, like, I have spider silk. How much spider silk do I have? 20. I don't think that's going to be it, because wouldn't she say, like, it's not enough silk to make the bag, my lord? You know? Okay. Let's look at the... Okay. Looking through the jobs. Fisherman. So forth. Miller, Bard, Slaughterman. Tavern Keep. Hold on a second. Gotta Google. What's a spindler? Spindlers make spindles. Okay, that makes sense. But do spindlers spin silk? That doesn't make any sense. Serpent's Hold. Yeah. Scarbray. Winemaker. Alchemist. Fisherman. A wisp. Intrinsic? I don't have everyone's job written down intrinsic. How about you? Well. So, this is going to be the big... before we shift into the final act of the game, this is our big quest leg. Finding some silk. I will go back to Minnock before I wrap up here. And we'll see if I can ask Michelle about silk and if she'll know anything about I don't think she will, but she might. Here we are. Alright, we're running to Minnock. Gotta go to the inn. Not to the inn, but I gotta see the inn. And then I'll know that I'm almost there. Yeah, here we are. Right. Michelle. While I was here, I should have asked you. What do you know about silk? Alright. You have, not today specifically, but broadly, Michelle, very helpful. I'm super curious. Are these the plans? Oh, do the general plans for the hot air balloon by themselves are probably what constitutes the plans for weaving a giant basket. Okay, well. Okay, I think, given that I gotta stop in 10 minutes anyway, and I don't even have the first clue about what to do next, let's call it. Kind of a short one, but extremely productive, right? We not only got to the Gargoyles, met the Gargoyles, talked to the Gargoyles, recruited a Gargoyle into the team, made peace, temporary peace with the Gargoyles, found out the ritual, found all the objects that we need for the ritual of the Codex. We know where to go to get a sacred quest. We know what the balloon is for. We have every piece of the balloon except the anchor, but we know at least where one anchor is, and the silk bag. And we know who can make the silk bag. We just have to find silk. It's all coming together. Peace in our time is coming. So, alright. Awesome. This week, on Tuesday, I think, or someday, me and my buddy Greg are going to play the new Ninja Turtles game. So that should be fun. Probably no Friday Night Forgotten Circles this week, where me and my friends play Gloomhaven Forgotten Circles on Friday nights. And then I think Saturday I'm going to do another Pirates, but I think I'll try Pirates Gold. See what that's... I mean, I think it's just a cosmetic upgrade to base Pirates, but check that out. Do something a little more adventurous than just using the default suggestions from the manual. I'm thinking... I mean, I haven't picked an area yet, but I want to be a French privateer or pirate hunter or whatever I turn out to be. See if I can be a little more successful than Captain James Tertius Lydgate. And then next Sunday, the search for silk begins. So all right, thanks for sticking around to the end, folks. If you didn't stick around to the end, you can't hear my voice. I'm still glad you stopped by. And yeah, having a ton of fun. We're in the downslope now. We're gonna save the day and have 2 live streamed Ultimas under my belt, and be looking forward to Ultima 7. So awesome! Until the next time, let the moons align. Take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone.